On this week's episode of the Flop Factor, the guys go in depth on what's gone on in the first couple of games of the first round of the NBA playoffs. A lot of surprises, a lot of storylines to cover. Let's see what's going on this week's episode of the Flop Factor. That starts now. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Flop Factor NBA podcast. I'm your host, Cody Burton. Alongside me is just DJ McDermott today. RJ Rice is at the NFL draft, actually just driving home right now from Pittsburgh, and Braden Laszlo is doing stuff for a class. So it's just us two today, but we're still going to do it. We're still going to get in.
Little episode.
That's a nice little episode about the first two rounds of the NBA playoffs. In the Western Conference side of things and the Eastern Conference side of things, there's been a couple. Some have played three now. Most have played just two, but at least two games have been played in the majority of these games. So far, I'll just go down the bracket. Western Conference side of things, Thunder and Suns. Thunder lead 2-0 going back to Phoenix. That is going on 3:30 p.m. tomorrow, April 25th on NBC and Peacock. Game 3 of Lakers-Rockets is tonight at 8 p.m. on Prime Video. Lakers lead that series 2-0, but is going back to Houston. Game 3 just happened last night. Then the Timberwolves defeated the Nuggets. We'll get to that one later on in this episode, but Nuggets are trailing the Timberwolves 2-1. The Timberwolves have one more home game before going back to Denver. Game 4 occurs tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. on ABC. Game 3 of Spurs Trailblazers will be tonight at 10:30 p.m. on Prime Video. Victor Wembanyama is currently questionable in concussion protocol. It'd be insane if he's able to come back after that quickly after slamming his head on the ground. That was not pleasant to look at. That's the hardest hitting faced on a ground I've seen in some time. Yeah. But currently, that series is tied 1-1 after the Trailblazers were able to steal one away after Wembanyama went down with that injury. That's the Western Conference side of things. Now, that one's going back to Portland tonight. Game 3, Pistons Magic tied 1-1. The Magic stole Game 1. Now they're going to Orlando in a tied series. The Raptors were able to get a Game 3 victory yesterday. Their next game will be April 26th at 1 p.m., but the Cavaliers still lead that series 2-1 over the Raptors. Game 4, the Hawks were able to snag one at home last night as well. In Atlanta, just incredible atmosphere there, and CJ McCollum was able to get the game winner. We'll get to that game later on in this episode. The 6-seeded Hawks lead the 3-seeded New York Knicks. Actually, both 6 seeds lead the 3-seed right now 2-1. And Game 3 of Celtics-Sixers is tonight at 7 p.m. The Sixers were able to steal one away. VJ Edgecombe, 30-point playoff game, one of the few rookies to be able to complete that feat. It's been a while since one. I mean, the last one I remember was Lou Dort.
Ironically enough.
Yeah, in the bubble.
Oh, that was the bubble?
Yeah, it was the bubble series. Game 7, Lou Dort. No, never. Those will never forget. But that's the playoff picture so far. We will get into some games, but DJ, first overall thoughts so far.
I mean, I think the biggest thing is literally what you just said. The fact that both 6 seeds are currently winning their series over the 3 seeds. I mean, as a Spurs fan, I'm looking, and when we did playoff picks and we were going through the playoffs, I thought Nuggets were going to win this series in 5 or 6 games. I really didn't think the Timberwolves were going to put up much of a fight. But Game 2, if you watch that was just pure entertainment. And then I think the most shocking game was the fact that all of a sudden they go to Minnesota, and it looked like the Nuggets were a completely different team. I mean, we talked about it briefly before. Rudy Gobert had Nikola Jokic in a chokehold. Nikola Jokic did absolutely nothing. And then if you watch the last 2 games from the Knicks-Hawks series too, I mean, those are two super entertaining games as well. And I'm kind of just shocked that the Hawks were able to pull that one out last night as well. But I think that's my biggest takeaway. I'm trying to another takeaway. I thought the Lakers when we did our playoff picks, I had the Rockets winning in 6 games, and I'm really disappointed to see how they played so far. I mean, Kevin Durant, I'm pretty sure that was 7 turnovers in his game back in game 2 that they lost to the Lakers, and Austin Reeves is now questionable, so that would be some more reinforcements for the Lakers, who already have a 2-0 lead. Other than that, I think everything's pretty normal. I think it's the fact that the Trailblazers stole one from the Spurs is pretty unfortunate. You can blame the Wemby injury all you want, but really it was just you were up by 14 points with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. It's just unacceptable that you let that happen. And then the fact that the Celtics blew out and embarrassed the 76ers in Game 1, and the 76ers ended up coming back and winning in Game 2. I think this is a very entertaining playoff. So I obviously have a couple of these series. I think Thunder and Suns, no offense, pretty boring series. Suns haven't really stood a chance. Cavaliers-Raptors, pretty boring series up until last night when the Raptors won. But, I mean, I think it's pretty entertaining so far.
Yeah, it's been a very fun playoffs, especially in the bottom half of the bracket. The 3-6 and 2-7s in both rounds have had 2 entertaining games apiece for each series and 3 entertaining games apiece for the 3 and 6 matchups. The 4-5 of Lakers Rockets has been pretty fun, and the 1-8 of the Eastern Conference Pistons Magic has been fun as well. Thunder Suns Game 2 was pretty. It got kind of chippy.
There was a time in the fourth quarter where I think it was they cut it down to a 10-point lead, and I think there was like 4 minutes left.
Yeah.
There was a little sliver of hope, but it got shut down. I was about to say it got shut down pretty quick.
DJ heard my reaction to that one. Lou Dort in the eyes of Dylan Brooks. Dagger Dort. But first, I mean, let's just get this one out of the way before we get to the fun stuff. Jalen Williams went down with a left hamstring strain, grade 1. It's a different hamstring than what he's been dealing with the entire season. It's felt like he was only limited 33 games, 34 games maybe this entire season. But that could shape up a little bit differently because the Thunder have played a lot this year without Jalen Williams, but at the same time, the playoffs are a different beast.
Yeah.
J-Dub's someone who's been there, done that. He was the Thunder's best player so far in the playoffs before he went down with that injury. He was having an incredible 2-game stretch, very efficient with the ball in his hands, and was shooting the ball very well as well.
Personally, I think it's going to be fine for this Sun series. It's just the biggest question is, because I mean, we talked about it before we went on air. It's a week-to-week injury, so and you said that it would be you think that the estimated return would be late conference semifinals, or just wait until if you make it to the actual conference finals. My biggest thing is I think this Suns series hasn't really been much competition so far. The biggest thing is, let's say the Lakers advance and all of a sudden Luka comes back and Austin Reeves come back. That's where you're like, hey, when is J-Dub going to come back? When are you going to start ramping up his activity?
Yeah, definitely. And you think the Lakers and Thunder have played a couple times this year, and the Thunder have kind of dominated.
It really hasn't been close.
It hasn't been like
surprisingly, it hasn't been close.
It's not been close whatsoever. Even whenever Luka's played, even when LeBron's played, I mean, they were fully healthy for a game. Yes, Luka went out I'm talking about the game that Luka went out in the second half of, but they were already down 40 points.
That's right. Yeah.
They were fully healthy except for Marcus Smart in that game.
Yeah.
And it was just not even a contest. Earlier in the season, the Thunder were missing 3 players and still beat them by 30 points. Yeah. There was a game away where the Thunder won by 15 without Shea. It's not been much
Thunder
of
have the Lakers number.
Yeah, but the playoffs are different. It's LeBron James in the playoffs. Luka's already defeated the Thunder in the playoffs. Now, that's a different Thunder team. That was before Alex Caruso, before Isaiah Hartenstein. Chet was a rookie. J-Dub was a second-year player. It was Shea's first true playoff run as well. As a number 1 guy, completely different team than what won the championship a season ago. Josh Giddey was being played off the court as well in that series. So,
oh my God, yeah, that's right.
It's a lot different, but without Jalen Williams, that just adds a different effect. A.J. Mitchell's going to have to step up for the Thunder. They should be able to control the Suns, but a little bit of a 3-game losing streak in Game 3s that the Thunder are currently on. The last Game 3 they won was in the first round last year against the Memphis Grizzlies, and that was the 30-point comeback, 29-point comeback that they made in that Game 3 on draft night a season ago, NFL draft night a season ago. Yeah, they lost to the Nuggets in the first road game in the second
Nuggets
round.
Series is so good. Oh my
And
god,
then
that Nuggets series.
the
is so
Western
good.
Conference Finals against the Timberwolves. It was a 4-1 gentleman's sweep, but that one game that the
Was it
Timberwolves
game
won
3?
was game 3, and they won it by 37 points.
Jeez.
That was the Thunder's biggest loss in the playoffs. And then game 3 against the Pacers was Thunder had the lead late, and the Pacers pulled the Pacers and came back in game 3. The Thunder are going to have to try to start quick and get out in front of the Suns in the first game in a hostile atmosphere, which was something they struggled with a season ago. But that's enough on J-Dub. That's enough on Thunder Suns series. Nuggets Timberwolves, we're moving down to the other series in the West. It's been what I'd like to call absolute cinema so far. Game 1, it may have been a 11-point difference, but it was very close all the way through. The Nuggets were just able to pull it away at the end. Game 2, it was the classic Nuggets Timberwolves one team chokes late side of thing. Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle were absolutely sensational. Edwards had 30 points, dueled with Jamal Murray, who also had 30.
Jokic had a poster on Gobert late in the fourth quarter. I was watching it with some of my buddies back in my apartment, and we were. The score shows that they won by 5 points, but really it was back to back, and it was really just. They really only should have won by 1 point because there was two. There was that breakaway dunk by was it DiVincenzo?
Yes.
I want to say at the end, and then there was another one. But I mean that game. I think the game of the playoffs so far was game 2 in this series. Nuggets Timberwolves. That was just pure entertainment, back and forth. Especially if you watch none of the game and you only watch the fourth quarter, that is just pure playoff basketball. That's what we saw a lot last year. And it was just really, that was just really fun to watch.
Yeah, and this game 2 is also what generated an incredible quote from Jaden McDaniels, J-Mac. He was asked what worked so well for the Timberwolves offensively after that game, and he said, "Go at Jokic, Jamal, all the bad defenders. Tim Hardaway, Cam Johnson, Aaron Gordon, the whole team."
Named everyone on the roster.
And named the entire starting lineup by name, and then just said, the whole team.
And the craziest thing is then, like, he does that. He names the quote of all the bad defenders, literally the entire roster of the Denver Nuggets. And the next game, 3 days later, they win 113-96, and the Denver Nuggets didn't even look like a playoff team.
Yeah, and this game was like, whenever the Timberwolves are led in scoring by Ayo Dosunmu, and they win by that much, that's how you
25 and 9, by the way. He also had 9
Yeah,
assists.
Ayo's been an incredible trade deadline pickup for him, and just to come off the bench and lead the team in scoring like that's incredible. And the dude they traded for him played 1 minute in this game.
Oh, really?
Mike Conley.
Oh my God.
Mike Conley is probably I think he's the first guy since Big Z on the Cavs and
he's
late 2000s to play playoff minutes for a team that traded them midway through the year.
I'm thinking of just the veteran presence right now is like Udonis Haslem just sitting there and hoping the Timberwolves, because it was last year I think where literally everybody on the Timberwolves was like, oh, we're trying to go on a run for Mike, like do all this, but I honestly forgot that they traded him at the deadline. That's so funny.
He just came right back. He was like, yep, I'm still here. But this was what you like to call a prime Rudy Gobert masterclass. I would like to say 10 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 blocks. But what doesn't pop up in the box score, at least for him, is that he held Nikola Jokic.
It pops up on the box score, but it pops up for Jokic.
Yeah, it pops up for Jokic. And you go to that matchup tracking stats as well on the NBA website. It'll show you Jokic shot 7 of 26 for the game, 2 of 10 from 3, 11-11 for the free throw line, 27 points on 26 shots. 15 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 turnovers.
If you were to look at the box score and not look at his field goal percentage, you'd think he had a good game. But the fact that 7 for 20 that is abysmal. That is so bad.
And a lot of this was early. He had a lot of stat pad points late whenever the game was already out of reach. That's like early on, 25-11 was his first quarter score line between these two teams. And Jokic was not looking like. People were saying, man, Jokic is lucky the NFL draft is on tonight because no one was shut up about this.
I was about to say, I looked at the final score after, and I was like, are we sure that the scores aren't flipped? I was a little shocked about that.
it's just crazy. Well, these two teams always have so many incredible playoff atmospheres. I mean, this is 1-1 tie right now. In the past couple of years, Nuggets won. In the year they won the championship, and then the next year was the classic Anthony Edwards trash talking that fan on courtside and coming back down 30 points in Game 6 to go and steal away Game 7 as well. And yeah, these two teams are incredible, and
that was another reason why Game 2 was so good too, because the Timberwolves were down 19 points in the second quarter at one point, and then I'm pretty sure they were leading by 3 at halftime, and then it was just kind of just a. I mean, if you watched from the entire second half, it was just a back and forth matchup. But I remember seeing that they were down 19 at one point in the second quarter. I was like, wow, that's not looking good. And then all of a sudden, anything can happen in the NBA playoffs.
Yeah, and speaking of J-Mac, he had an incredible slam dunk. The Nuggets were rallying late in this fourth quarter, trying to make it closer. They got it within 13 points, had all the momentum in the world, and then J-Mac just drives in a sea of Nuggets defenders and dunks on 4 people's head, and that's all she wrote. There's also another highlight where Bones Highland made Spencer Jones, my LinkedIn connection, touch the ground and then pointed at him.
He was a starter.
Yeah, pointing at him while he's on the ground, and then drilled a 3.
Unfortunate.
Oh boy, I just noticed that Spencer Jones was also on the poster of J-Mac.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah. Oh man, rough game. He's gonna post about this on LinkedIn.
28 minutes, 6 points. Oh yeah, that is that. Oh my God, you're right. I forgot about that. Oh my God, that's funny.
I have to check to see if he's done it yet.
That's so funny. I didn't realize he was the guy who posted and was like, yeah, bad outing. Thankful for the opportunity.
Yeah, let's see if he's posted anything yet. Oh no, he posted a day ago, but all he said, I mean, it's coming. There's going to be one today, probably. So keep your eye
If the Timberwolves go down 3-1, or if the Timberwolves go up 3-1, you might see one. Sorry, guys.
He says the game simplifies in the playoffs. That's what makes it harder. It's my first time really experiencing it from the floor, and one thing stands out more than anything. Everything comes down to matchups. At this level, everyone's prepared. Everyone's playing at their highest intensity. So the game isn't about running more plays. It's about finding the smallest edge and pressing over and over again. Yeah, that's very cool. Let's see. Just someone who just says team needs to toughen up. They're actually just responding to this guy like, man, okay. But this Nuggets-Timberwolves series is absolute cinema. Always is between these two. And anytime the Denver Nuggets are in the playoffs, it's going to be fun. They always have these incredible series where if you're a part of as a fan of the teams in it, you're like, man, this isn't fun. But if you're not if you're just a fan of the game or a fan of another team and watching this series, it's incredible. And speaking of a series just like this, Knicks fans are not in good moods right now. If they're Giants fans, might be in a good move. Has some great, had a solid pickup. Jets fans, hit and miss, depending on if a fan likes it. But David Bailey, great pick right there. But
totally unrelated, but I did see it was a funny clip. It was a guy that was sitting there with 3 computer screens, and he said, "Worst 10 seconds of my life." Personally, he said that the worst thing was Kenyon Sadiq getting drafted because he didn't know who Kenyon Sadiq was, and he said it was a backup tight end. But then he said the Mets blew the 7-3 lead, and then the Knicks lost to the Hawks.
Nice.
So it was all 3 computer screens, and he's like, worst 10 seconds I've ever experienced.
Yeah, and this Knicks-Hawks series, so the Knicks win game 1 by 11 points. It was a close game all the way through. It was just a brutal fourth quarter, allowed the Knicks to pull away over the Hawks. And game 2, Knicks were up late, a lot late. C.J. McCollum happens. C.J. McCollum rallies the Hawks, and they win game 2 by 1 point after Mikal Bridges' shot rims out at the end of the buzzer. Game 3, Hawks were up majority of the game, blow it late. The second the Knicks take the lead, oh boy, Mikal Bridges misses OG Anunoby misses a shot. Here comes the Hawks. C.J. McCollum, after timeout play, ran through him. A dude that was meant to be a salary cap filler in this Trae Young deal has turned out to be a playoff hero, an incredible player who's completely
taking the place of the playoff villain.
He's completely helped. He was one big part of why the Hawks had that late season surge. And C.J. McCollum, drives right, pulls up on the elbow, drills a game-winning shot. Hawks win Game 3 by 1 point as well. 2 games, 1 point difference. The Hawks take both of them, and now they win. Now they're up 2-1 in the series. Jalen Johnson, 24 points in this game, 8 assists as well. OG Anunoby had 29. But I think what many New York Knicks fans and NBA people in general are looking at is that Mikal Bridges played 21 minutes. Got soft benched late in the game. Was pretty much just starting to start. 0 points, 0 of 3 shooting. Four turnovers.
Not a good look whatsoever. I mean, I think you have the highs of the highs and lows of the lows. I'm looking on the Knicks side of the ball. Obviously, Mikal Bridges, seeing that starting lineup of 3 20-plus point scorers and OG Anunoby being your top scorer, that's fine. You have OG, Cat, and Jalen Brunson. But the fact that Josh Hart, he contributed. The fact that he played all 40 minutes and he had, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, that's fine. Only 2 points, 1 for 9 shooting, that's not good. The fact, my biggest thing is only taking 3 shots for Mikal Bridges. That's my biggest takeaway. But player of the game for the Atlanta Hawks for me, Jonathan Kuminga off the bench, 28 minutes, 21 points. When we talk about efficiency, 9 for 14 shooting, 2 for 4 from the 3-point stripe. I mean, that's a phenomenal game off the bench. I mean, obviously, I think we talked about it in the regular season how good of a pickup it was when the Hawks kind of went on their own run, and Kuminga, weren't they like 6-0 or 8-0 or something like that when it was like in games that Kuminga played after the trade or something like that.
They went on a 13-game win streak.
But I didn't know if all of those. I didn't know if all of those were with Kuminga.
I think 9 of those games were.
It was something like that. But it was just the impact that he had, and he's been playing really good in the playoffs. But I think I saw something that it was. I think Mikal Bridges in Game 2 also had he also had a really bad game in that one too. Let me check real quick. I don't.
10 points, 30% shooting.
Yeah, it's. And I think he's had more turnovers than assists in his past 2 games, which is not a good
same amount.
Whatsoever.
Same amount.
Oh, same amount.
He has a 5-to-5 turnover assist ratio in the playoffs.
That's not good. That's still not good. That doesn't matter.
Yeah, but it's just we all run from it, dread it. Destiny arrives the same. The Atlanta Hawks are inevitable. I mean, we're high on this team start of the season. We didn't believe it'd be like this. We thought a big part of the team would have been Trae Young, but they really started slow or mid at the start of the year, trade away Trae Young, and then they get hot, very hot, Atlanta hot. And the team's in Atlanta 10. And it's just they're winning. They're just winning consistently, and they sneak in and get this 6 seed after that incredible stretch to end the season. They beat out the tiebreakers and everything that goes on, get out of that play-in picture, and now another incredible matchup against the Knicks on the way, and it's going on, and it's amazing once again. And I'm very excited to see what Game 4 is like because
Atlanta's atmosphere is crazy.
Must win for New York.
The fact that it's in Atlanta, if you can steal this game, even out the series of 2-2, and then go back to New York and hopefully have just a full mind reset, that'd be the perfect scenario for the Knicks. But I mean, if you go down 3-1, what is it? Game tomorrow? Yeah, game tomorrow. 6 o'clock. But if you go down 3-1, I'm not saying it's over, but I mean, you have to assume that New York is going to be not happy. Their fans are not going to want to show up to that game.
Yeah, and that's all we'll talk about for Knicks Hawks. Incredible series going on there. We're going to talk one more series a little bit just because how Victor Wembanyama's injury and potential questionable just mark right now for tonight. I mean, he's going to try all he can to play because it's Victor Wembanyama.
I was about to say he's one of the most competitive guys. In the NBA.
He's one of the most, if not the most competitive guy in the league. I mean, Giannis is up there, especially Giannis before this season. Couple of guys in Oklahoma City are up there in terms of competitive. Like you could say Dylan Brooks is very competitive himself, but in terms of superstars, I'd say Victor Wembanyama. It's Victor Wembanyama, Giannis, Shea, Steph Curry, maybe as a four in my opinion. That's at this point in their career, so the most competitive players in the NBA. And it's just every single time he's on the court, this Spurs team is just incredible. And now they blow that lead late. This is a very inexperienced team in the Spurs. You have De'Aaron Fox, who's been there before. You have Harrison Barnes, who's been there, done that. But other than that, Keldon Johnson's one of the only guys who's been there.
Six man of the year, by the way.
Yeah, six man of the year, by the way. Yeah, 6 man of the year,
yes,
Keldon
sir,
Johnson.
KJ. Yes, sir, KJ.
6 man of the year, Keldon Johnson. But he's the only other guy that's been close to this moment. He was on that play-in team back in the COVID season, the last taste of postseason basketball the Spurs had.
You mean Spurs leading scorer. You mean Keldon Johnson 20 points per game scorer in the bubble.
Yeah. DeJounte Murray, too. He was on that team.
DeJounte Murray and Derek White.
Yeah.
Derek White was on that team, too.
Yes, that was, okay. Complete sidetrack here. But when Derek White was on the Spurs, there was this, account on Thunder Twitter that was so adamant on trading for him, which would have been a great move.
I mean, yeah.
He was like, a lot of people were like, yeah, we should trade, Darius Baisley, a couple of our draft picks, maybe Hamidou Diallo or something for Derek White. But then this dude was really adamant. He was like, this is an All-NBA guy that's just on the Spurs right now. Trade Shea for him.
Whoa.
I'm like, this is a dude who, this early in Shea's career, but he was thinking that
it was probably directly post Clippers trade.
Yeah, well, it was Shea's first year as a number one, so it was like the George Hill, Al Horford Thunder.
Jeez.
But he was adamant, he was thinking Shea's ceiling was Andre Miller. So at that point, a lot of people I felt like Shea was going to be a multi-time All-Star.
He wasn't completely wrong about Derek White.
All-NBA guy, but
he wasn't completely wrong about Derek White. Maybe
who knows? Could
all
be
NBA, all NBA, no. Yeah. All defensive, yes.
Yes.
One of the key pieces to their championship team, yes.
Yes. He's literally supercharged Alex Caruso. That's what Derek White is. Potential, he could sneak onto an All-NBA third team this year.
What was that one game last year that him and Peyton Pritchard both had 40 points?
Yeah.
That was it? It was both of them, right?
It was a Knicks game. I think.
It was something, but it was the first time in NBA history that two guys off the bench or something. I don't know. It was something. Yeah, both guys scored 40 points. It was crazy. Again, another sidetrack, but I just remember that was crazy.
Oh, Derek White. But Spurs, Blazers. Blazers have been incredible this season. Just late charge. Another team we were high on beginning of the year, thinking that this could be it. And another thing that's very in consideration is that if this series goes deep, there's reports saying that Damian Lillard might just come out of the shadows and play. That's a little bit something for the Spurs to watch, but in all likelihood, this is a series they should take home in 5-6 games. But if Wemby's not playing tonight, first game back in Portland and the playoffs since Lillard was on the team last. So who knows what can happen.
Yeah, I've seen some. I mean, I obviously follow a bunch of Spurs fan pages and stuff like that, and a lot of people are saying, "Oh, if Wemby didn't get hurt," and I completely agree. But like I said earlier, the fact that you had a 14-point lead against the Trailblazers with 8 minutes to go and you gave that up, I mean, you just this is such a good defensive team that I can't see why all of a sudden you see Scoot Henderson getting hot. Stephon Castle has been phenomenal on defense this year. That's when you put him, Stephon Castle and Scoot Henderson, and then just have some help defense with Denny Advia. Or is that how you say it?
Yes,
that's how you say it. Okay,
yes.
Let's go. But, I mean, that was my biggest pet peeve. I think De'Aaron Fox needs to step it up a bit. Obviously, he had 17 points in 34 minutes, 6 for 16 shooting. He needs to get his three-point shot down. Same with Devin Vassell. He's such a clutch three-point shooter. And another thing, Wemby's out. There's no way. Love Devin Vassell, one of the best role players in the NBA. I think he's so underrated. There's no reason Devin Vassell should be our leading rebounder. Luke Cornett had 9 rebounds off the bench. He played 28 minutes. Fine, whatever. But 12 rebounds for Devin Vassell. Great hustle.
You think
but
you should pull out Bismack?
Huh?
You think you should pull out Bismack tonight?
I would have rather Kelly Olynyk, if you want to be completely honest.
Hey, man.
But I mean, I'm the good news about Wemby is that he was on the plane, or he was cleared to fly with the team. I always thought Game 3 was just definitely no. I wouldn't be shocked if we get a report in the next 2 hours that he's going to be out. I really wouldn't be shocked. But the biggest thing is that he flew on the plane, with the Spurs.
He should
be playing for Game 4, which I think that is. Do not rush him back, because if you watch the clip, I personally think he was knocked out for 2 seconds.
Yeah,
I'm
shocked he didn't break his jaw.
And that was and a lot of people are like, oh, like the NBA is so soft, but that was seriously like knees hit the ground, and then he had no control over the front over his upper body of just. And his hands were like flailing up too, and there was nothing to break the fall, and it was literally just you saw his chin hit the floor, you saw him like get up for maybe like a second, and all of a sudden his head went right to his arms, and he didn't move for 2 seconds. Then all of a sudden that's when he was attended to and stuff like that. But it's just people are gonna need to step if Wemby is out for this game, that's gonna show a lot about the Spurs, because if they can win Game 3 without Wemby and take the lead on the series 2-1, that says a lot about who the Spurs are and how far that they can make it if they don't have their star player.
Yeah, and we're about to wrap this one up, but 3 games tonight, 3 games to pick. Boston, Philadelphia, Game 3, Lakers, Rockets, Game 3, and Spurs, Trailblazers, Game 3. For me, I'm going Boston over Philadelphia. I believe that Game 2 was just 30 points from VJ Edgecombe, 29 from Maxey. That's the only chance that the Sixers really have, which Embiid could be back soon. He could come back later. He's starting to practice.
True.
Who knows? But I think at least for this first away game, it's going to be tough. Celtics need to win this one. They don't want to go down 2-1 to the 7th seed. But I think it will be Boston going up 2-1. Lakers, Rockets, I think the Rockets will take the must-win Game 3.
We don't condone gambling here at U92, but the fact that the Rockets are 8.5 point favorites after being down 2-0, I understand it's in Houston and the Rockets are healthier than the Lakers right now, but the fact that they're down 2-0 and they're like 9-point favorites right now, I think it's a little too much.
Yeah.
I think it's a little too much.
And then Spurs, Trailblazers, I think, honestly, if Wemby's out, I think the Blazers take Game 3, but the Spurs win the rest of the remaining games and take it in 6 games. But if Wemby somehow does play, Spurs win in 5 games. But that's what I have. I have Celtics winning Game 3. And winners in Game 3, I have Celtics, Rockets, and Trailblazers sneakily.
I'm going to go. I feel like the Celtics are going to come back and be in their Game 1 form. I feel like the Philadelphia crowd, they've been too high on the Flyers recently. I think they're going to go right back down to earth, seeing the Sixers get pummeled by the Celtics. I have Boston taking this one pretty easily. I also have the Rockets winning. I feel like, personally for me, it's very humbling that the Lakers are up 2-0 right now after I picked the Rockets to win in 6. So, you never know what's going to happen, but I feel like this is where the tide changes. It's a 4 seed versus 5 seed. Rockets are healthier. I feel like the Rockets take this one. But I am going to say that no matter what, if Wemby plays or not, I'm going to say that the Spurs win this game because, like I said, it's going to say a lot about the Spurs if they are a legitimate play. Because the only question with the Spurs was playoff inexperience. The only people on the team that had playoff experience were Harrison Barnes and De'Aaron Fox going into who get playing time were those 2 guys. So if they can win without Wemby, that's going to show a lot about what this team might be able to do in the conference semifinals or the conference finals. If they don't win this game, I'm going to question the team a little bit because I would like to see who steps up tonight if Wemby's out.
Yeah, and I feel the same. It's just who steps up if Wemby is out. That's the question. There's a lot of the guys. De'Aaron Fox has
we can get
stolen a couple.
Stephon Castle 40-point trip dub again.
Stephon Castle's won a national championship, so
he's
actually playing the guy
who's got the clutch gene. I was about to say him and Jonathan Clingan.
Yeah, Clingan, man. But that's going to do it for this week's episode of Flop Factor. Stay tuned next week. The Flop Awards will be occurring. We already have the awards lined out. We just need to get everyone in here, and next week everyone will be in here. So that's going to do it. You can tune into every single episode of the Flop Factor the entire way throughout the NBA season, and we will be recording some away from home episodes during the playoffs as well. I've got that set up with U92's tech guy himself, does everything around here, everything man at Student Media, Nick Crassus. Shout out Nick Crassus. He's part of the reason why we're able to do this stuff. And you can tune in to every episode of Flop Factor on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, and more. The U92 The Moose YouTube page also posts every episode. But that's going to do it for this week's episode, Playoff Edition, Round 1 of the Flop Factor. I'm Cody Burton. Alongside me the entire way was DJ McDermott. We'll see you next week, and have a safe day out there, my guys. Goodbye.